Is the Toyota Supra a Japanese legend? Of course. Is it also one of the most overrated cars on the planet? Absolutely. Now, before you jump into the comments to unleash your wrath, hear me out. I'm not saying the Supra is a bad car. Not at all. In fact, I love it. But let's face it, it's overrated. The Toyota Supra's story is one of humble beginnings, movie stardom, and car enthusiast obsession. But how did a Japanese sports car become such an icon? Let's take a ride through its history. It all started in the late 1970s when Toyota decided to create a sportier version of their Celica. They called it the Celica Supra, giving it a longer body and a straight-six engine. It was cool, but it wasn't blowing anyone's mind. By the mid-1980s, the Supra split from the Celica and became its own car. The Mark III was faster, smarter, and featured turbo power, but it was still just another Japanese sports car. And then came the 1990s and everything changed. Enter the Mark IV Supra in 1993, the car that rewrote the rules. With its sleek design and the now legendary 2JZ GTE engine under the hood, it became a tuner's dream. The 2JZ's cast iron block and twin turbos made it ridiculously modifiable, and people started pushing its limits. Remember that scene in the first Fast and Furious movie back in 2001? Paul Walker looks at Vin Diesel and says, "I owe you a 10-second car." Boom, that bright orange Supra with ridiculous stickers became an icon. Overnight, everyone wanted a Supra, especially guys who had never seen something that cool on screen. But at this point, the Supra's fame made sense. It wasn't overrated yet. The hype exploded. Everyone wanted a Supra. Prices shot up, and even as the car aged, its reputation only grew. Toyota tried to keep the legend alive, finally releasing the Mark V Supra in 2019 after years of anticipation. It's fast, it's modern, but the Mark IV, that's the one people still talk about. The Supra's story is one of engineering brilliance, pop culture magic, and undying love from car enthusiasts. It's not just a car, it's a legend that refuses to fade. The Supra was sold worldwide, especially in the US. Unlike other JDM cars that stayed in Japan, the Supra crossed oceans. And in the US, where people love trying new things, they started modifying it. The result? Videos of Supras leaving behind Mustangs, Corvettes, and other big-name cars on the track. Now we come to the third and most important point, the era of memes and short videos. How many memes have you seen where a Supra leaves behind a Bugatti or a Lamborghini? How many Instagram or TikTok edits with epic music show a Supra winning impossible races? This is what turned the Supra into a legend for people who, honestly, don't know much about cars. The 2JZ engine. If you know anything about cars, you've probably heard of it. It's the heart of the legendary Toyota Supra and one of the most respected engines ever built. Why? Because it's practically indestructible and insanely modifiable. Toyota introduced the 2JZ GTE in the early 90s, and it was immediately clear they weren't messing around. This 3.0-liter inline-six came with a cast iron block, solid, reliable, and built to handle a ton of stress. It also had twin turbos, giving it smooth, linear power. Officially, it was rated at 276 horsepower, thanks to Japan's gentleman's agreement, but in reality, it made more than that. What really sets the 2JZ apart is how much power it can handle without breaking a sweat. With just a bigger turbo, better fuel, and a tune, you can hit 800 horsepower without even opening the engine. That's right. Factory internals, untouched, holding up like a champ. And if you decide to upgrade the internals, well, you're looking at 1,000 horsepower or more. This wasn't Toyota's intention though. They didn't build the 2JZ to dominate drag strips or become a tuner's dream. It was designed to be smooth, reliable, and durable for the Supra. But enthusiasts quickly realized just how much potential was packed into that engine, and the rest is history. But today, the 2JZ is more than an engine. It's a symbol of what happens when engineering meets passion. Whether you love it or think it's overhyped, there's no denying its impact on car culture. The problem, these modifications are ridiculously expensive. You could literally buy a Lamborghini for the cost of maxing out a Supra. And let's not forget that to make it competitive, you often have to strip out the interior, sacrificing all the practicality. When it comes to modifying the Toyota Supra, the possibilities are practically endless. This car wasn't just built for the road, it was built for the imagination of car enthusiasts. And trust me, they've done everything you can think of to make it faster, louder, and more extreme. The first thing many people do is swap the twin turbos for a single massive turbo. Why? Because it can push ridiculous amounts of air into the engine, leading to horsepower numbers that sound like they belong to fighter jets. 800, 1000, even 2000 horsepower in some cases. But it's not just about the turbo. To handle all that power, people upgrade the fuel injectors, the fuel pump, and the ECU, engine control unit. A proper tune is crucial because you don't want to blow up your shiny new setup the first time you hit full throttle. The exhaust systems are another popular upgrade. A bigger, freer flowing exhaust not only adds power, but also gives the Supra that aggressive growl everyone loves. Let's be honest, part of the fun of owning a Supra is hearing it roar. Then there's the exterior. A lot of people go for wide body kits, giant rear wings, and custom paint jobs to make their Supra stand out. Love it or hate it, those big modifications give the car a presence that screams, "Look at me!" So what do I think about all these mods? Honestly, I love it. It's what makes car culture so exciting. The Supra is a blank canvas, and every owner gets to turn it into their masterpiece. But there's also something cool about a clean, unmodified Supra, just appreciating the car for what it was built to be. Even so, memes and social media have convinced a lot of people that the Supra is the best car ever made, even better than a Lamborghini or a Bugatti. But the reality is, many of these people don't know much about cars. I even have a friend who insists the Supra is the best car in history, and believe me, this guy couldn't tell a V8 engine from a blender. The Toyota Supra has had one of the wildest price journeys in car history. Back in the day, when the legendary Mark IV Supra hit dealerships in the mid-1990s, it wasn't exactly cheap. Depending on the trim and options, it cost around $40,000 to $50,000 in the US. That was a lot of money at the time, putting it in the same price range as a Porsche 911. But the Supra wasn't just about prestige, it was about performance, and enthusiasts knew they were getting a lot of bang for their buck. Fast forward to now, and things have changed big time. The Mark IV Supra has become a collector's item, especially the turbo models with the legendary 2JZ GTE engine and the 6-speed manual transmissions. But what other cars are there similar to the Supra that are also super overrated? I believe that there are several. Right now you and I are thinking about the same one, I think, and I'm talking about the Mazda RX7. Is a car that's achieved legendary status, and for good reason. It's not just about its sleek design or its status as a JDM icon, it's about what's under the hood, the rotary engine. Love it or hate it, the RX-7 wouldn't be what it is without that little powerhouse. The RX-7 first hit the scene in 1978, but it's the third generation, the FD, released in 1992, that cemented its place in car culture. Why? Because Mazda went all in on making it a true sports car. Lightweight, agile, and powered by the unique 13B RW rotary engine, the RX-7 became a tuner's dream and a track day weapon. Now let's talk about that engine. The heart of the RX-7, the rotary engine, or Wankel engine, is a completely different beast from your typical piston engine. Instead of pistons moving up and down, it uses rotor spinning in a housing to generate power. The result? A super compact and lightweight engine that revs like crazy and produces an incredible power-to-weight ratio. In the FD RX-7, the 13B RW was the first mass-produced rotary engine with twin turbos, delivering smooth, linear power and plenty of potential for modification. But here's the thing, rotary engines are temperamental, they require meticulous maintenance, love to burn oil, and aren't exactly known for their longevity. Yet that's part of the RX-7's charm. It's a car for people who are willing to put in the work for something truly special. Let's not forget the styling. The FD RX-7 is one of the most beautiful cars to ever come out of Japan. Its flowing lines and aggressive stance are timeless. Add some custom wheels, a wide body kit, or a fresh paint job, and it's hard to find a car that turns more heads. The one that is a classic of history and is undeniable is the Honda NSX. We can talk a lot about the Honda NSX. The Honda NSX is one of those cars that doesn't just make you admire it, it makes you respect it. It's the car that flipped the supercar world on its head by proving you didn't need to be flashy or unreliable to be incredible. Honda, known for its sensible Civics and Accords, set out to build a world-class sports car, and the NSX was their answer. The NSX was revolutionary for a couple of reasons. First, it was the world's first mass-produced car with an all-aluminum body, making it super lightweight. Second, Honda brought in none other than Ayrton Senna, yes, the Formula 1 legend, to fine-tune the car's handling. His input helped make the NSX one of the best handling cars of its era, with precision that could rival any European exotic. But here's the kicker, the NSX was reliable. Unlike many Italian supercars of the time that spent more time in the shop than on the road, the NSX was built to be driven. You could enjoy it on a daily basis without worrying about it overheating or breaking down. That combination of practicality and performance was unheard of in the supercar world. As for modifications, the NSX isn't the most commonly modified car, but that doesn't mean it's ignored. Some owners go for aggressive wide-body kits and turbocharged setups, while others keep it clean and classic, celebrating its original design. The NSX is one of those cars where less is often more. It's already so perfectly balanced that many enthusiasts prefer to leave it untouched. Over the years, the NSX became an icon in car culture, thanks to its innovative design and engineering. And when the second generation NSX was released in 2016, it took the spirit of the original and brought it into the modern era with hybrid technology and supercar level performance. The Honda NSX isn't just a car, it's a statement. It's proof that you can have the precision of a scalpel, the reliability of a Honda, and the excitement of a supercar all in one package. And that's why it's still a legend today. You know very well which car I need to talk about, don't you? If I see a lot of support in this video, we will talk about that car, and I will dedicate only one video for it.